It's the top of the hour and time once again for the latest from the Eat, Drink, Explore news desk.
And here is a quick look at what's topping our news on this Saturday. And we have the echo effect on, I think, but Randall is taking care of that. I'm Patty Piper, and good morning. Thanks for being with us here for Eat, Drink, Explore. Drinking red wine may be good for your digestion, according to a new Spanish study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition. Researchers believe the polyphenols found in red wine are the reason. A group of men were followed during the study and at times were given red wine to drink. During this period, researchers found the men had elevated levels of good intestinal bacteria. Having the right mix in your gut can help with digestion and regulate immune function, among other beneficial effects. The men in the study, when drinking wine, also showed lower blood pressure and C-reactive protein levels, a measure of inflammation. A popular Central Coast Wine Festival is moving to another location out of California. Organizers of Hospice de Rhone, held each spring in Paso Robles for the past 15 years, will now be held next year in Tennessee. The festival got its start in Atlanta 20 years ago, according to the San Luis Obispo Tribune. The three-day event features tastings and seminars aimed at educating people on the wine varietals found in the Rhone region of France. Now, the paper quotes several local leaders who say the festival's move is a big loss for Central Coast tourism. Coyotes are making a comeback in San Francisco's Golden Gate Park. A small group of pups was recently photographed in the park, providing proof of a new spring litter. Wildlife experts say coyotes in the middle of the city are good for the area's overall ecosystem, even helping with the rodent population. I actually have a couple of cats for that job. San Francisco's Animal Care and Control Department estimates the total number of coyotes now living in the city is at 13. Central Valley farm groups filed a major environmental lawsuit Friday against California's high-speed train project. This is according to the LA Times. The preliminary injunction to halt construction of this project was filed in Sacramento County Superior Court by the Madera and Merced County Farm Bureaus. Construction of portions of the so-called bullet train connecting the Bay Area with Los Angeles was set to commence later this year. The agency in charge of this project just named a new chief this week, filling the position that had been vacant since January. I kind of want one of those bullet trains that passes right through the Central Coast. How convenient would that be? Consumer Reports is out with its list of the best tasting summertime frozen desserts. Taste testers, and these people had good job to have there, checked out nearly 24 fruit bars and ice cream sandwich varieties for this testing. Whole Foods 365 brand came in with the highest ratings for the fruit bars, with large chunks of strawberries and a fresh flavor. Haagen-Dazs and Dove got the top marks in the ice cream bar category, with strong dairy and vanilla taste and flavorful dark chocolate coating. Stay tuned in our second hour. We'll tell you more about the benefits of dark chocolate. As far as ice cream sandwiches go, Walgreens Old Fashioned was the winner with soft and cake-like wafers and big cocoa flavor. All of the other brands sampled had artificial flavors or a gummy texture. I'm still jealous of those taste testers. The weather for this weekend in June first weekend in June, is looking to be pleasant along the California coast thanks to some marine fog. Temperatures mostly in the mid to upper 60s. Now things heat up quickly as you head inland, though. Highs in places like Paso Robles expected to be in the low 90s. In fact, some of the Southwest is seeing warmer than average temperatures.
Eat, Drink, Explore Media is your lifestyle information source. Our focus, food, wine, craft beer, travel, and tourism trends, with a slant towards sustainable and healthy options. Whether it's hot deals or tips for hotels and flights, an update on what's currently fresh at your local farmers market, or the latest restaurant and beverage news, we've got you covered from 8 to 10 each and every Saturday morning. Live on Crush 92.5 in San Luis Obispo County and online at eatdrinkexplore.com. Also, check out our new free smartphone and tablet app. Simply search 3 words, Eat, Drink, Explore, either in Google Play on your Android device or in the App Store on your iPhone or iPad. This free app gives you access to contests, past radio segments, our Facebook and Twitter feeds, and you can watch live video of the radio broadcast while listening to it here on The Crush. Eat, Drink, Explore Media, your source for the lifestyle you love.
Hello, this is Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and I want to tell you about my new favorite discovery, Yosemite National Park. I recently went there with my husband and children, and we walked the trails to see the breathtaking waterfalls, admired the grand meadows, and giant sequoias. But the future of our national parks is uncertain. Many challenges face our parks today, from polluted air and water to development threats outside their borders and inadequate funding to protect our national heritage. That's why the National Parks Conservation Association recently completed a decade-long assessment of the challenges facing our national parks, along with proposed actions that will ensure our children and grandchildren will be able to enjoy the parks as we have. Our national parks have inspired Americans for nearly 100 years. As we approach the centennial of the National Park Service in 2016, please join us in helping to protect our national park legacy. Find out how at www.mpca.org.
Delicious, nutritious, and fabulously fun.
Is this real life?
Best of all, your comments.
That was a real money saver. Thanks, Randall.
So did it work out for you?
Your hotel tip was spot on.
You're listening to the Eat, Drink, Explore Radio Network. But don't just sit there. It's an interactive program, honey.
Are you sure this is legal? I don't know. It's fun though, isn't it?
Pick your pleasure. Tweet, chat, post, email, even call us on the telly. Whatever works for you. Our topics today, food, drinks, travel, and a whole lot more fun. So let's pop the cork on this thing and get the party started. Give it up now for our fantastic host, the wonderful and talented Mr. Randall White.
I think that's the champagne talking.
And a very good morning, everyone. Great to have you joining us here. It is that magical time on Saturday mornings when we get a chance to discuss enjoying all of life's pleasures in a healthy, fun, and sustainable manner. All right, I'm your host, Randall White, and just ahead on the show here, boy, we've got some great stuff for you. It is that time of year also when lots of fresh vegetables. We've got the stone fruit that you're finding at the market right now. If you aren't familiar with that, that means there's a pit in the middle of it. So your peaches, your nectarines, your plums, stuff like that. All of it is good to be grilled. Yeah, on the grill, vegetables and fruit. We are speaking with the author of a book, The New Vegetarian Grill. And that book's got 250 different recipes for cooking things other than meat on the grill. Also coming up, we're headed to Austin, Texas, which is a state capital, of course, a big university town as well. A foodie place for sure, and a growing craft brewing movement there. We'll head to Austin and tell you about all the great things you can find there. And we check in with Gabe Saglia of Travel Zoo. They put out that top 20 every single week that has, I don't know, now they're up to like 26 million users or something like that. Gabe picks a few of his favorites, and we'll go through there so that you can find lots of wonderful bargains. But right now, we turn over to Miss Patty Pyburn in the news center. Hello, Patty.
Good morning, Randall White.
All of our music and sounds are working today. The computers
wonderful.
Are in harmony. Everything, the moons are aligned. Everything seems to be great. We've got Ricardo Teodosio over there working the television. You know, he's the one switching through, so you see the different cameras, either me or Patty. And I think I have things. We were not facing each other before. And if you're listening on the radio and saying, cameras, what are you talking about? We do stream this show via Ustream as well. You can find links on our Facebook page, Twitter accounts. And if you haven't used it yet, we have smartphone and tablet apps that you can use as well. Just go to the Apple App Store, or it always sounds redundant, Apple App Store, or to Google Play, it's called now, for Android, if you have one of those devices. So pretty cool, easy to watch.
I wonder they should hyphenate it as the Apple Store.
Oh, Patty needs a marketing job. Apple. So you're going to be, next news hour, you're going to be talking about the benefits of dark chocolate. Again, another study?
Yeah, this is a study that compiled a lot of results from other studies.
Yeah.
And then made a finding about whether you should eat it or not, if it's heart healthy, and also if there should be like a campaign to educate people about the benefits of dark chocolate.
Hey, I like that.
More to come on that.
Okay, so last night, it was warm in Paso Robles last night. You were just talking about the weather. Was it low 90s there today?
Yes.
I had the opportunity. We have a new sponsor on the show here. It is Kelly's at. I got to get this right. It's Kelly's at I just want to make sure I say it right. Kelly's at the Grill at Hunter Ranch.
Okay.
Hunter Ranch is a golf course there right off of 46, and we had a fabulous meal. Before I get to that, though, I just realized that we need to tell you who's sponsoring this hour, and that is Eberly Winery, open right across the street from Kelly's, by the way.
Oh.
I mean, right there.
Convenient.
By the street, I mean Highway 46. It's open daily from 10 in the morning until 6 in the afternoon. Complimentary wine tasting and cave tours. And Wine Spectator, highly respected magazine, voted their cave tours the best on the Central Coast. Eberly Winery, located on 46 East in Paso Robles. Log on to eberlywinery.com for more information. Now, back across the street, over to Kelly's, had a delicious dinner. I have some photos to share if you're watching via the Ustream
Wait, I have to see these.
channel. Yeah. Delicious food. We started everything
Yum.
off, and I'm not just saying that because they're a sponsor. The whole reason I went to eat there was because, we do have some say as to who sponsors the show, and I wanted to taste everything first, and I walked away very pleasantly surprised. Kelly sat down with us.
The pictures look great.
Oh, yeah. She sat down with us for a good, I want to say 45 minutes or so that she could discuss her philosophies when it comes to food and that sort of thing. Meshes very, very closely with mine and what you hear here on the show. Fresh, local, full of flavor. This one salad, Patty, I know you would have. This salad has Patty Pyburn written all over it, okay? So a bed of, fresh greens, of course. But that's topped with blue cheese.
Oh, yes.
Bacon that Kelly makes up
my
herself.
Gosh.
It's a fresh cut bacon.
We're on the right track. Bacon and blue cheese. Okay, we're good.
Grilled asparagus. Okay.
Perfect.
And she typically uses heirloom tomatoes on that specific day. She could only get vine ripened tomatoes. She couldn't get the heirloom, but we are headed into heirloom season right now. So if you head to Kelly's there at Hunter Ranch, your salad will likely have the heirlooms in it. But that's the whole thing. It changes daily based on what she's able to get. And that salad just knocked my socks off. It was so
Sounds great.
And it's called a starter. It could be the whole course. Because the only reason I went on to the full course is I wanted to try everything.
You can't leave there and not try.
I know. All right, so I know that Quillen is Patty's son, wasn't he in like a teriyaki chicken phase for a while?
Yes, he was.
Okay, I had a teriyaki chicken phase growing up, but I also had a long period of time where the only way I would order fish is Veracruz style, which is like a kind of a salsa on top of the fish. And that went on for years. Well, last night I had swordfish Veracruz, and it was the topping was among the best Veracruz sauces I've ever had. So
I'm so jealous.
And
I'm so hungry now.
It was delicious. But the nicest thing of all is the setting there at Kelly's looks out over the golf course and the rolling hills of Paso Robles.
Nice.
You're literally up on top. And it was extremely windy in Paso Robles, but the way they have the restaurant situated, it acts as a protection. And so
you can still enjoy being outside.
Yeah, you didn't even know it was windy. And of course, the climate was fantastic. It was when you're
so
in the shade.
beautiful in that area.
Yeah.
I just feel like when I drive through there on Highway 46, I find myself saying, I forgot how beautiful it is here.
Right.
You're reminded of it when you're there.
Well, the thing about that stretch of you've got your wineries that are to the west of Highway 101, and then you have your wineries that are to the east. So this is on the east side where Eberly is and that sort of thing. And after a day of wine tasting, sometimes you want to get some food on your stomach. And there really aren't a lot of restaurants over there. I really can't think of any except for Kelly's. And so many people might think, well, I'm not a golfer, I'm not going golfing, so then they don't even include that in their mind. But
but it's a beautiful place to enjoy the setting, even if you're not going to play around a golf.
You don't have to be a member. You don't have to be anything. They're open 7 days a week, and they have the next time I go, I'm trying their brunch.
Oh.
And everything's included. I mean, everything.
Nice.
So, yeah. So I'm looking forward to that a lot. Okay, Patty, I'm going to keep you, if you don't mind, in the news seat there because I knew that this next segment you would want to be involved with. This is the grilling woman and all of the fresh vegetables.
Try to get me out of this seat.
We will be speaking with author Andrea Chessman. She's the author of The New Vegetarian Grill, 250 flame-kissed recipes for fresh, inspired meals. That's a mouthful. Then after that, we're headed to Austin, Texas. Then after that, our popular travel deals segment. You're listening to Eat, Drink, Explore Radio. We're back in just a moment. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back shortly. Did you know our weekly Saturday morning radio show also has a video simulcast on Ustream? You can watch it live or view pre-recorded versions while on the go by simply downloading our free Eat, Drink, Explore app for your smartphone or tablet device. To find it, just head to Google Play or the Apple App Store and search Eat, Drink, Explore. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break. We will be back shortly. Get the latest audio, video, and breaking news from Eat, Drink, Explore Media by following us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We're easy to find. The URL extension for all of those sites is simply Eat, Drink, Explore. Thank you for your patience. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back on the air shortly. Curious about information you've heard on today's show? Just head to eatdrinkexplore.com and head to the weekly program summary section under the radio tab. We always list the websites and any other important facts associated with each of our guests we have on the program. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back on the air shortly. Thank you for being a regular listener to the Eat, Drink, Explore radio program. If you have any feedback for us, we'd love to hear it. Simply send a note to radio@eatdrinkexplore.com. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break. We will be back shortly. Get the latest audio, video, and breaking news from Eat, Drink, Explore Media by following us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We're easy to find. The URL extension for all of those sites is simply Eat, Drink, Explore. Thank you for your patience. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back on the air shortly. Curious about information you've heard on today's show? Just head to eatdrinkexplore.com and head to the weekly program summary section under the radio tab. We always list the websites and any other important facts associated with each of our guests we have on the program. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back shortly. Did you know our weekly Saturday morning radio show also has a video simulcast on Ustream? You can watch it live or view pre-recorded versions while on the go by simply downloading our free Eat, Drink, Explore app for your smartphone or tablet device. To find it, just head to Google Play or the Apple App Store and search Eat, Drink, Explore. Welcome back, everyone, to the Eat, Drink, Explore radio show here on this Saturday morning. And we've got a little cloud cover here on the Central Coast, but it will burn off to the coast, and inland temperatures are supposed to be very warm throughout the entire Southwest. In fact, nice weather across the country as we start this month of June, which is grilling season, and certainly a time of season when we have a lot of fresh produce at the local farmers market. And have you ever thought of throwing it on the grill? You might think, oh yeah, there's specific things we throw on the grill like asparagus. Of course, you have to line it up properly or it falls right through. And then, right, Patty?
You have to be careful.
Yes. By the way, I'm Randall White. You're listening to Eat, Drink, Explore Radio. This is Patty Pyburn over here. She is
Good morning.
an ardent, would that be the word, an ardent griller?
I think so, because just about everything the main course, it's done on the grill typically.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Yeah.
I think every meal I've ever had at your house is
been on the grill.
done on the grill. Well, someone who really knows her way around a grill, especially when it comes to vegetables, is Andrea Chessman. She's the author of The New Vegetarian Grill, 250 flame-kissed recipes for fresh, inspired meals. And welcome to the show, Andrea.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Well, it's nice to speak with you, especially after looking through your book. And boy, you do have some inspiration there. I love it. You're in Vermont, is that right?
I am in Vermont, and it is raining and blowing and not a good day for grilling.
No, it's not. Well, too bad you're not here on the West Coast today anyway. Vermont's gorgeous. In fact, in one of our destination segments coming up, I really want to book the city of Burlington to talk a little bit about all the food there and that sort of thing. Andrea, what is the most common misconception when it comes to throwing vegetables or fruit on the grill?
The most common misconception is that you just stick it on a skewer and cook it alongside your meat. And that is the most boring thing that you can do to vegetables, and not particularly kind to them anyway, because vegetables have different doneness times.
Oh, right.
So you get some things that are overcooked and some things that are not cooked, and you're limited to what you can skewer. So what I tell people, if they're serious about grilling vegetables, is get yourself a vegetable grill plate, which is a flat metal plate, costs about, $15 to $20 at a hardware store. And it's just this flat plate, and it has holes in the middle. And if you stick that on the grill, you can have vegetables of any size or shape, and they won't fall through.
Yeah, like I was speaking about the asparagus. Now, I've seen the mesh, Patty, both of us, we have them. It's like a mesh, sandwich thing that you put the vegetables between. I haven't seen the grill plate. Have you?
Right, those baskets that you could put like fish or something in. But I do, Randall, I'm sorry to say, I have the grill plate, and it's like a big pan with holes in it that you just set right on the grill.
Now, do you need to use like olive oil on it, or?
Well, I like to slick the vegetables with olive oil first.
I see.
Before I put it on. But what I like to do is use that flat plate just like a saute pan. And so I'll cut the vegetables so that they're ready to eat. And I'll cut up into bite-sized pieces, and then literally saute it on the grill, flipping it around. And then when it comes off the grill, it's hot and ready to eat. If you grill the vegetables in long slices, then they have to be sliced before they can go into your mouth.
Right.
And they're just ready to go. And you can do lots of stuff with them, like stuff them into pita pockets and put them on top of pasta, put it on top of rice. It's really very versatile.
So, Andrea, I have done exactly what you've said before. In fact, my son asked me the other day, I can't remember what we were making, but he said, "Oh, can you actually cook that on the stove?" Because we just traditionally...
He's only known it on the grill.
Yeah. No, how do you do eggplant? I want to hear your tips on doing it, because I love grilled eggplant.
Okay, this is going to sound really fussy, but I really believe that 3/8 of an inch is the absolute optimum width of an eggplant slice.
All right, everyone get out their kitchen rulers.
But if you do it too thin, it can be disaster. If you do it too thick, it doesn't cook right.
Too thin, and it's shoe leather. Too thick, and it's just rubbery and unpleasant.
So 3/8 of an inch.
And this took a ridiculous amount of experimentation, but that's why you have people writing cookbooks and people just cooking.
No, that's true. Do you have to?
Somebody was willing to do that for
Andrea,
you.
do you need to prepare the eggplant, marinate it, or put salt on it, or anything in a specific way to keep it from getting bitter?
If your eggplant is fresh from the garden, fresh from the farmer's market, you do not need to salt it. If it's an aged supermarket eggplant, which maybe, I don't know, in California, maybe your eggplants aren't aged, but ours are by the time they come from California.
Right.
So a supermarket California can be improved by salting because it gets rid of the bitter juices. If it's really fresh, it shouldn't be bitter at all.
Okay, that's good to know. Now, Andrea, I love to do peppers, like red, yellow, green peppers on the
Yes.
grill. And like you said, I put olive oil on them first. It sort of helps that process of getting the skin off later. So I like to do a bunch of those when I'm cooking something else and then use them. I put them in the fridge and put them on sandwiches or add them to salads, and kind of use them throughout the week.
Right.
And it helps to put them in a baggie, right after they've come off the grill.
Or a covered bowl so that you can get the skins off of them. They just need to steam a bit.
Andrea, what is your favorite grouping of vegetables to cook on the grill?
I am madly in love with eggplant this week.
This week, right?
I adore grilled eggplant too, Andrea. I love hearing that.
But actually in Vermont, it's asparagus season. But it's whatever is fresh and wonderful. And what I like to do is take whatever is fresh and wonderful, grill it on the grill, cut it up in bite-sized pieces, grill it on the grill, and toss it with hot pasta and goat cheese. So if you take the goat cheese and you toss it with the hot pasta, it forms this creamy sauce. And then you just add the vegetables, and it's a main dish, and it's vegetarian, and it is super.
It sounds so great, and the grill just adds that great flavor. I'm curious, Andrea, if you have a vegetable that would just surprise us, that somebody would cook it on the grill, that we would say, wait, what? Brussels sprouts on the grill? I don't know. Do you have a vegetable that would be shocking on the grill?
I was that way with artichokes until I
yeah.
had them out at in Casmelia. The Hitching Post. Thank you, Ricardo. The Hitching Post in Casmelia. I had my first grilled artichoke, and I was like, whoa, I don't want to ever do it any other way. What's yours, Andrea?
I cannot think.
Well,
I think grilled peaches are kind of.
I was
surprising
going to say, I think a lot of people think savory the minute they think of the grill, and they don't think sweet. But there's a lot you can do with fruits, correct?
Excuse me. Correct, but I have a separate grill plate that is just dedicated to fruit because you really don't want that garlic residue in the peaches.
Oh,
right.
Good point.
And then after they're grilled, how do you use them?
Chocolate sauce, on a lady fingers, there's lots of, any different way. The other thing I'll say about grilling fruit is never cover the fruit, never use the lid of the grill when you're grilling fruit because it just deposits this sooty residue that's kind of unpleasant.
Too much smoke and that sort of thing infused into the fruit, right? You just want more of the caramelizing that comes from the flame.
Right.
Andrea Chessman, author of The New Vegetarian Grill. She has 250 different recipe ideas in there to inspire you. In fact, that's the subtitle to her book. What's your latest book out?
I have literally this week, I think the pub date is June 5th, The Pickled Pantry, and it's about 185 or 150 recipes for pickles, relishes, chutneys, and more.
Oh, I thought you were referring to my liquor cabinet. The Pickled Pantry. That sounds good. We'll have to have you back on at a later date, Andrea, to discuss that one.
Thank you.
All right, Andrea Chessman, all the information available at eatdrinkexplore.com, as is for all of our guests. And this week, I posted it all ahead of time, so it's there on the website right now. You can link directly to Andrea's website. Thank you for being on the show, and stay dry today in Vermont.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, straight ahead, we're headed to Austin, Texas. It's on my go-to list of cities, and we'll explain why in just a little bit. You're listening to Eat, Drink, Explore Radio. Make it a great Saturday morning, everyone. We're back in just a moment. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back shortly. Did you know our weekly Saturday morning radio show also has a video simulcast on Ustream? You can watch it live or view pre-recorded versions while on the go by simply downloading our free Eat, Drink, Explore app for your smartphone or tablet device. To find it, just head to Google Play or the Apple App Store and search Eat, Drink, Explore. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break. We will be back shortly. Get the latest audio, video, and breaking news from Eat, Drink, Explore Media by following us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We're easy to find. The URL extension for all of those sites is simply Eat, Drink, Explore. Thank you for your patience. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back on the air shortly. Curious about information you've heard on today's show? Just head to eatdrinkexplore.com and head to the weekly program summary section under the radio tab. We always list the websites and any other important facts associated with each of our guests we have on the program. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back on the air shortly. Thank you for being a regular listener to the Eat, Drink, Explore radio program. If you have any feedback for us, we'd love to hear it. Simply send a note to radio@eatdrinkexplore.com. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break. We will be back shortly. Get the latest audio, video, and breaking news from Eat, Drink, Explore Media by following us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We're easy to find. The URL extension for all of those sites is simply Eat, Drink, Explore. Thank you for your patience. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back on the air shortly. Curious about information you've heard on today's show? Just head to eatdrinkexplore.com and head to the weekly program summary section under the radio tab. We always list the websites and any other important facts associated with each of our guests we have on the program. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back shortly. Did you know our weekly Saturday morning radio show also has a video simulcast on Ustream? You can watch it live or view pre-recorded versions while on the go by simply downloading our free Eat, Drink, Explore app for your smartphone or tablet device. To find it, just head to Google Play or the Apple App Store and search Eat, Drink, Explore. A very, very good Saturday morning to you, and hope your morning is off to a relaxing and enjoyable start. You know, the weekend is just getting underway. June is just getting underway, for that matter, and a happy June to you. I'm your host, Randall White, and you're listening to Eat, Drink, Explore Radio, where we discuss food, wine, craft beer, travel, and tourism. And at this time each week, if you check your watch, it's 8:33, we feature our destinations segment when we focus on towns, cities, parks, trails, any location really that we believe is worthy of receiving a little extra attention. And that includes entire cities. Steve Alberts is joining us now. He is with the Austin Convention and Visitors Bureau. We're headed to Austin, Texas in the Lone Star State. Welcome to the show, Steve.
Thanks so much for having us. We appreciate it.
It was fun speaking with you on the phone the other day, and I thought this guy is going to make a great guest. He is clearly very passionate about Austin, Texas, and you have a lot of reason to be. It is just full of festivals, events, and things going on constantly, right?
Yeah, there is so much going on year-round in Austin, Texas. For one, if you didn't know, we are known as the live music capital of the world. And, I mean, just think about it, because when you hear music, when you land around every corner and anytime in between, there's no reason. We've got about 2,000 live music venues and about 1,900 musicians who call Austin home. And what I think is so cool, and that I hear a lot from visitors, that the minute they touch down at Austin Bergstrom International Airport, live music greets them, but it also welcomes back the residents here, too, and that's just so cool. There are 5 stages. And
what? At the airport?
Yeah, at the airport. 5 live music stages.
5 live music stages.
And music plays there 13 times a week. So, I mean, you get your fill of music here.
Okay, I've done a lot of flying, and I can honestly say I've never been to an airport that had a live music stage anywhere. So that in itself makes Austin worthy of discussing this morning. I also understand that there is a growing foodie scene there in Austin, and I'm wondering when someone from out of town shows up, what do locals tell them to try? You know, every city sort of has its signature dish.
Well, you know, we've gotten a lot of attention lately from high-end American to down-home barbecue and just about everything in between. Mm-hmm. So visitors can sample a diverse food, whether it's the hottest American restaurant or the food trailers. Lately, we've gotten a lot of attention with our food trailers. We have about 2,000 food trailers throughout town, and it's really a chance for visitors to experience the local flavor. Mm-hmm. It's a must-do. We always suggest people go. There's one place on South Congress that we call the trailer park because there are about 10 or 15 food trailers all parked next to each other. These are not what normally you would conjure up as a food truck. These trailers have places for visitors to sit down and eat their food. And there are some really elaborate food. Let me just tell you some. You've got Mexican, Korean tacos. You've got gourmet donuts. I was telling you about this earlier. It's called Gordo's, and you can cover it with fried chicken and honey butter. They're huge. They also have dessert-type fried donuts. I mean, I've tasted them. They're delicious.
Gourmet donuts.
Definitely eat it with someone else.
Yes. What's the name of the Korean taco truck? Do you know?
The Korean taco truck is Cilantro.
Oh, okay. Because down in the Los Angeles area, Cilantro, I like that.
Yeah.
Down in the Los Angeles area, there's a highly successful Korean taco truck called Kogi. So I was just wondering if they had expanded all the way out to Austin, but it sounds like a different operation.
Yeah, we have a Vietnamese one, East Side Kings. We've got one called Hey Cupcake, and they make the most scrumptious cupcakes, and they're huge. And they're known for their pink trailer right there, too.
Now, there's also a growing craft brewing movement in Austin as well. You have a number of local breweries?
We do have a number of local breweries. One that just came is a little bit north of downtown, and it's called Uncle Billy's Brewery. Brew and Q, actually, so they do some barbecue and brew. And they give people tours of the brewery, which is really cool, and they have tastings, and of course they top it off with live music. And it's out by Lake Travis, and you watch the beautiful sunset. It's out at Oasis, Texas Village, which is just a beautiful place to be out on the water, enjoy some of the outdoors, and then come in for some good barbecue and good beer.
There's quite a bit of water to enjoy in the Austin area. Is it the Colorado River, a different Colorado River than one that people might think of, but is it the Colorado River that goes?
No, it's the Colorado River. Now, we call it Lady Bird Lake, and it comes in right in the middle of downtown Austin. And we've got 10.1 miles of breathtaking hike and bike trails, and on any given day, we're Austin, Texas, we we say that we have about 300 days of sunshine, and you will see people there, whether they're running, cycling. You know, we're a big cycling community. Lance Armstrong lives here. And whether they're rowing on the lake or doing something very unique, which is either stand-up paddleboarding or stand-up yoga.
Oh, the yoga on the paddleboards?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing that on Lake Tahoe right now, and it's something that I want to I want to try. I want to try yoga in general.
Yeah, well, we've got a lot of yoga studios here, but next time you come, we'll make sure to get you hooked up with that. It's a good core workout.
Well, I need to head out there. I know my mom is watching right now, and my mom and dad, but my mom's family is from, my mom was born in a little tiny house in Smithville, and that's in Bastrop County, I believe,
Yep.
if I have it, and that's just adjacent to the Austin area.
Yeah, it's about 45 minutes or so away, maybe a little bit longer, yeah.
Now you're situated in what's known as Texas Hill Country.
Right, and so you go out to the Hill Country, which is not too far away, and you've got beautiful wineries and bed and breakfasts.
So
that way,
Texas is so large, yet many of us throughout the United States just have like one image in our head. You know, the Lone Star State, and they picture the opening to Dallas from from the 1980s or whatever it might be. But you have like full blown desert Southwest in some areas, and then you go down to the Houston area, and you've got that humid, swampy sort of Gulf of Mexico thing going on. How would you characterize the climate of Austin?
I think what I hear most from visitors is, "Wow, Austin is nothing like we pictured it," because it is very green and very hilly, and lots of trees and beautiful flowers and lakes, and so there's water throughout. And so people, I think, who have never come here for the first time, that's what we hear a lot. Plus, of course, just the live music and the energy and the vibe that they say, because we also are a university town. The University of Texas is just north of downtown. 50,000 students. We also are the state capital, so we've got that going on as well. We've got a very educated and engaged citizenry.
Where does Austin rank in terms of population size among Texas cities?
We, our population is 1.5 million.
Whoa.
And we are now, I think we're the fourth. So behind Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, and us.
I see. Okay, right. So that's a nice manageable size. And you mentioned all of the trails that follow the river there. How is Austin in terms of a walkable city or a bike riding city? You can get around pretty easily from neighborhood to neighborhood. Yeah,
a lot of people ride their bikes to work, and especially downtown is a very safe, walkable city. A lot of people walk it, and in terms of cycling, we've got a lot of people who do that as well. Mellow Johnny's, which is the bike shop that Lance Armstrong owns, is really kind of a cycling community where people will come in and they pay this little membership where they can use the locker room, shower, get ready for work, and park their bikes there. They just store them there, and then they walk to work, and then they come back at the end of the day and ride back home.
I like that. Now, if you had, I like to ask Convention and Visitor Bureau people this, if you had family visiting from out of town, where would you tell them to go to get a unique Austin feel?
Well, I think one of the things that I love to do is, I have to confess, I grew up in Southern California, and so I grew up with the Pacific Ocean. So I love water. So I like to go downtown to Lady Bird Lake just for the actual feel.
Right.
Then we can start moving south and go to South Congress, which is a very unique place with one-of-a-kind shops. And then, of course, you have to have a little stop at a food trailer to get some just delicious and unique food.
I saw on the Food Channel, I saw an Austin truck featured, and they made some sort of, it was like a taco in a cone, or do I have that right? Something along those lines.
Yeah, and it was probably Mighty Cone, I would assume. They have hot country, crunchy meat in tortilla cones, kind of like a waffle cone to put the image in your mind. Just about anything you can think of is done.
It was in the top 10 burgers throughout the United States, and I was like, that's not a burger. But
and speaking of burgers, there's a we have a lot of burger joints, but one that's getting a lot of attention is called Hop Dottie Burger Bar. So it features gourmet burgers made with locally grown ingredients. We're real big on locally grown farm-to-market stuff.
I could see
the
that.
The burgers range from just traditional to exotic. You can have something like an ahi tuna burger. One of my favorites is a buffalo burger. And then, of course, you've got the great beer. And there's a story behind the name, which is derived from beer, which is hop, and then the Dottie, which is a Scottish word for cow.
Right.
That's Hop Dottie. So they've got great beer, which we all love, and then they've got great food on top of that, and it's right there on South Congress. So it's a great little place.
And a great website you have there for the Austin Convention and Visitors Bureau. We've linked it to eatdrinkexplore.com. Steve Alberts, thank you for giving us a snapshot of your wonderful city.
Absolutely. Come visit.
We will. And we're back
Alrighty.
in just a moment with travel deals. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back shortly. Did you know our weekly Saturday morning radio show also has a video simulcast on Ustream? You can watch it live or view pre-recorded versions while on the go by simply downloading our free Eat, Drink, Explore app for your smartphone or tablet device. To find it, just head to Google Play or the Apple App Store and search Eat, Drink, Explore. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break. We will be back shortly. Get the latest audio, video, and breaking news from Eat, Drink, Explore Media by following us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We're easy to find. The URL extension for all of those sites is simply Eat, Drink, Explore. Thank you for your patience. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back on the air shortly. Curious about information you've heard on today's show? Just head to eatdrinkexplore.com and head to the weekly program summary section under the radio tab. We always list the websites and any other important facts associated with each of our guests we have on the program. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back on the air shortly. Thank you for being a regular listener to the Eat, Drink, Explore radio program. If you have any feedback for us, we'd love to hear it. Simply send a note to radio@eatdrinkexplore.com. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break. We will be back shortly. Get the latest audio, video, and breaking news from Eat, Drink, Explore Media by following us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We're easy to find. The URL extension for all of those sites is simply Eat, Drink, Explore. Thank you for your patience. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back on the air shortly. Curious about information you've heard on today's show? Just head to eatdrinkexplore.com and head to the weekly program summary section under the radio tab. We always list the websites and any other important facts associated with each of our guests we have on the program. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back shortly. Did you know our weekly Saturday morning radio show also has a video simulcast on Ustream? You can watch it live or view pre-recorded versions while on the go by simply downloading our free Eat, Drink, Explore app for your smartphone or tablet device. To find it, just head to Google Play or the Apple App Store and search Eat, Drink, Explore. Welcome back to the show, everyone. Great to have you with us here on this Saturday morning. It is 8:49, and that means it's time for our popular travel deals segment when we talk to those that know the bargains around town, the luminaries of budget travel, the best of the best. And this morning, you want to talk about someone who's dedicated. We're bringing in Gabe Saglia. He is the senior editor at TravelZoo.com, and Gabe's on his honeymoon, or not honeymoon, I'm sorry, anniversary. You were on your honeymoon, what, 18 years ago, Gabe?
Yeah, it's 9 years ago. If I was on my honeymoon, I probably would not be allowed to be on the phone with you. We are celebrating our 9th wedding anniversary, which was on the 31st. So this is the tail end of a little, 2-night getaway here in Santa Barbara wine country.
I very, very much appreciate you coming on the show. I don't know why I remembered 18, so 9 years ago.
My wife will tell you it feels like 18, but it's been 9.
And we'll talk about where you're staying in just a little bit, but just to remind people, every week on Wednesdays, you put out a top 20 there at TravelZoo, which really hones in some of the best deals, some of which TravelZoo negotiates directly, right?
Indeed. A lot of these are exclusive to us. A certain percentage are editorial picks, that deals that have popped up in the last week that are just too good to pass up, and we'll share them with our subscribership, which is now at about 25 million around the globe. So we distribute the top 20 at 11 o'clock. Local time, and tailor-made to different regions across the country. So the ones that you get here, for example, on the Central Coast, will have a bit more of a Central Coast influence. Trips maybe to Hawaii, to Mexico, to Europe, out of Southern California. Yeah. But yeah, we distribute that to about 25 million people around the world.
All right, Gabe, let's kick things off with one of my favorite locations, or at least near one of my favorite locations, Cabo San Lucas.
Yeah, this is a great little, getaway, especially out of Southern California. But there's a little spot outside of Cabo San Lucas called Todos Santos, which is this great old artists' colony. Surfers know this spot because some of the surfing there is world class. There's a place called the Hacienda Cerritos, which is this boutique property, 11 suites alone on this shoreline there, just outside of Cabo San Lucas. A 4-night stay now usually runs about $2,400. They've discounted it about 80%, so for $489 now, you can get a 4-night stay in a suite with a private pool, beach views, and that's for travel through the end of December. So you pretty much have a whole year to play with this deal, and it's really sort of a very aggressive deal to promote this very sort of off-the-beaten-path property.
Wow, $489 for 4 days.
That's, 4-night stay, 5 days, 4 nights.
That's a good deal. Okay, this is funny. I think it was just last week or the week before I was mentioning Club Med that I really hadn't heard much from them in a while. But no, you've got a really good deal, and it's in the Turks and Caicos. Am I saying that correctly?
Turks and Caicos. Now, this is actually out in the Caribbean. Funny enough, for our honeymoon, we spent a week at a Club Med on the Bahamas that no longer exists. It was right outside the Atlantis Resort that's there. But this is the Club Med out in Turks and Caicos. This is a adult-only 5-star resort on 84 acres. It's an all-inclusive property. Premium drinks included, all of your gourmet food included. It's a sort of an unusual thing to see a Club Med offer because it tends to be sort of a lucrative escape for a lot of people. Turks and Caicos, one of the more posh islands out in the Caribbean. With airfare out of Los Angeles and a 7-night stay at this Club Med in Turks and Caicos, $1,459. That includes your taxes and fees. I'll tell you, I paid for my honeymoon when I went to Club Med in the Bahamas a lot more than this. So I think it's a particularly good deal. It's for the end of summer. It's another $200 if you want to travel at the peak of summer, which is June and July. But if you wait to August, September, October, $1,459 for a 7-night all-inclusive stay and airfare out of L.A.
And airfare on top of it, out of L.A. All right, let's head to Vegas. And I booked a room, I want to say more than a year ago now, for some of my in-laws at this exact property. It is the Trump's big hotel there. It's kind of got a goldish tinge to it, right?
Yeah, well, it has to, doesn't it?
Right.
It just sort of glistens gold no matter what time of the day it is, especially at sunset, of course. The Trump International 5-star luxury property there. It's a non-gaming hotel. It's right next to the Wynn. So people who want to do gambling go over to the Wynn. But this is sort of a very high-end place to stay, floor-to-ceiling windows, a lot of posh amenities in the rooms, like plasma TVs in the mirrors in the bathroom. A lot of neat touches there. $89 a night to stay there through Labor Day weekend. That includes accommodations in a suite. Plus, you get a $25 spa credit, 2 cocktails, a 4 p.m. late checkout, and 2-for-1 tickets to Mystère, the Cirque du Soleil show that plays down the strip there at the Treasure Island Resort. So a couple of extras to sweeten that deal there.
All right, I would take up this next one in a heartbeat. Maui's Ka'anapali Beach, right?
Yeah, this is the Hyatt Regency Maui. I spent a night at this hotel last year, and I spent the rest of my Maui vacation on the southwestern stretch of Maui called Wailea. But this is a great little spot if you want to do Ka'anapali. It's right on that very popular stretch there near Whalers Village. You can just cruise over to Black Rock and do some great snorkeling. The Hyatt Regency Maui is a 4-diamond resort. Great pool complex. The rate usually is about $409 for the summer months. They've dropped it now to $269. You get 2-for-1 breakfast, which is a gourmet buffet breakfast there, plus a partial ocean view room. And that's for travel through the summer, which is peak travel season all the way to the end of September.
I've never had a bad stay at a Hyatt Regency. Comfortable beds, everything clean.
Yeah, and it's a large, very large resort, a lot of shopping right on property, good dining, and you're really in the heart of Ka'anapali, so you can access a lot of the great venues there, including Lahaina, very quickly, very easily.
All right, let's head to Paris. Why not? I would. Patty, you're heading to Paris soon, I believe. Is Patty's mic up, Anthony? Patty, you're heading to Paris. Here's a place you might want to stay.
I'm listening. I'm all ears, Gabe.
I'm sure they know Patty by now at this particular place. And I picked this property because A, it's luxury, high end. B, it's for travel during peak travel season in Europe. It's very tough to get bargains in July and August because all the Europeans are on vacation. But this is the Westin Paris Vendôme Hotel. Luxury 4-star property, just steps from the Place Vendôme, sweeping views of the Eiffel Tower. Rooms usually start at $550 a night. This one rates now at $249, and you get a free room upgrade. You can upgrade to an even more panoramic view room of the Eiffel Tower and the Louvre Museum for another $50. It's still under $300 to stay at one of the more luxurious hotels, the Westin Paris Vendôme there, through the summer months and into November and Christmas as well, if you want to plan ahead.
Well, if you're going to be in Paris, why not just do it right and treat yourself correctly? Now, let's talk about where you're spending your honeymoon right now. A beautiful, I keep saying honeymoon, I'm sorry, your anniversary.
It still feels like
it's honeymoon redo.
Yes.
That's it, the honeymoon revisited. When we got married in Santa Barbara 9 years ago, we spent our very first night that night at the only 5-diamond B&B in North America, which is the Simpson House Inn in Santa Barbara. And then our second night, we spent at the Ballard Inn, which is where we spent the last couple of nights. It's in the middle of Santa Barbara wine country. Ballard is this old township established in the late 1800s. Used to be an old stagecoach stop. Now it's just a very bucolic, quiet, sleepy little spot. You can access Los Olivos, as we did, by bike yesterday. It's only about 2 miles away. Solvang is just another hop, skip, and a jump away, about 4 miles away. So, all these little towns are very accessible. But this particular inn, 4-diamond inn, the restaurant on site, a 4-diamond restaurant, one of only 3 4-diamond restaurants in Santa Barbara County. The chef, Budi Kazali, fantastic chef. And so the food was, we had a great meal there on Thursday night. There were only 15 rooms, each one individually decorated. Each one's got a different theme. So we stayed in the farmhouse room this particular time around. We stayed in the mountain room before. There's a vineyard room. There's the equestrian room. So you can kind of, each room has its own different feel. There's only 15 of them. And it comes with a gourmet breakfast every morning, which as soon as we're done, I will head off to enjoy.
I'm going to let you do that right now. Gabe Saglia, the senior editor at TravelZoo.com. Very much appreciated that you joined us this morning.
Talk to you, man.
Go enjoy what will turn out to be a beautiful day there in the San Ynez Valley.
Ben.
All righty. Hey, and this hour of Eat, Drink, Explore Radio brought to you by Kelly's at the Grill at Hunter Ranch. I dined there last night. It was fantastic. You dine under the oaks, outdoors, surrounded by beautiful green rolling hills, and it has sort of a Western feel with all exposed wood. It's gorgeous. Located just 3 miles from Highway 101 on 46 East in Paso Robles there at the golf course. You do not need to be a member to head over there. All right, stick around, everyone. We have a whole another hour left of Eat, Drink, Explore Radio on this Saturday morning. Great to have you with us. We're back in just a moment. Eat, Drink, Explore Media is your lifestyle information source. Our focus, food, wine, craft beer, travel, and tourism trends, with a slant towards sustainable and healthy options. Whether it's hot deals or tips for hotels and flights, an update on what's currently fresh at your local farmer's market, or the latest restaurant and beverage news, we've got you covered from 8 to 10 each and every Saturday morning. Live on Crush 92.5 in San Luis Obispo County and online at eatdrinkexplore.com. Also, check out our new free smartphone and tablet app. Simply search 3 words, Eat, Drink, Explore, either in Google Play on your Android device or in the App Store on your iPhone or iPad. This free app gives you access to contests, past radio segments, our Facebook and Twitter feeds, and you can watch live video of the radio broadcast while listening to it here on The Crush. Eat, Drink, Explore Media, your source for the lifestyle you love. It's the top of the hour and time once again for the latest from the Eat, Drink, Explore news desk.
Effects of eating dark chocolate daily in high-risk people. They also found it would be cost-effective to spend money on a public education campaign about dark chocolate's health benefits. Several studies show dark chocolate with its heart-healthy flavonols can lower blood pressure and improve cholesterol. Sequoia National Park, home to the giant redwoods, has the worst air pollution of any national park in the country. The parks in the system with the highest smog levels and the number of days that monitors recorded violations last year include Sequoia, the highest with 87 days. Now in second place, Joshua Tree National Park had 56 days with violations. At number 3, Great Smoky Mountains National Park in North Carolina, having only 12 days. At number 4 with 8 days is Yosemite National Park. And also on that list is Mojave National Preserve with 6 days of violations. An ozone reading of 75 parts per billion or higher, which the EPA says is unhealthy for sensitive groups, people who might be affected, who have asthma, for instance, is considered a violation of the agency's regulations. Now, the following parks exceeded that level last year. Again, Sequoia National Park, the highest, considered unhealthy for everyone. Joshua Tree National Park is second, also considered unhealthy for everyone. Yosemite and Mojave National Preserve, considered unhealthy for sensitive groups. Now, the air in Sequoia National Park, which is comparable to places like LA, is also unhealthy for the trees there. Experts say the pollution is coming from the San Joaquin Valley. High ozone levels are weakening many stands of Jeffrey and Ponderosa pines, turning their needles yellow. Now, instead of absorbing carbon dioxide, the trees are soaking up ozone, and that is inhibiting photosynthesis. Ozone is stressing out the young redwood seedlings, already struggling to survive. These weakened trees are more susceptible to drought and pests. The long-term impact on the pines and giant redwoods, which have been there for 3,000 years or more, scientists say is unclear. A presidential honor for a Santa Barbara County wine. The Santa Barbara Independent reporting this morning that a Central Coast wine was poured a few weeks ago when the world's most powerful heads of states met at Soldier Field in Chicago for part of the NATO G8 summit. President Obama and other world leaders served Vogelsang Vineyards 2009 Sauvignon Blanc. It's grown in Happy Canyon on 108 acres in the eastern Santa Ynez Valley. That's such an honor for a local wine. And also this morning, we should let you know coyotes are making a comeback in San Francisco's Golden Gate Park. A small group of pups recently photographed in the park show proof of a new spring litter. Now, wildlife experts say coyotes in the middle of the city are good for the area's overall ecosystem, helping with the rodent population. And this weekend in first weekend in June. Looking to be pleasant along the California coast. We've got some marine fog helping to keep things a little cool. We're going to see temperatures in the upper 60s. Inland, though, places like Paso Robles expected to heat into the low 90s. In fact, most of the Southwest is seeing warmer than average temperatures for this time of year. Thanks for joining us for this Eat, Drink, Explore news update.
Eat, Drink, Explore Media is your lifestyle information source. Our focus, food, wine, craft beer, travel, and tourism trends, with a slant towards sustainable and healthy options. Whether it's hot deals or tips for hotels and flights, an update on what's currently fresh at your local farmer's market, or the latest restaurant and beverage news, we've got you covered from 8 to 10 each and every Saturday morning. Live on Crush 92.5 in San Luis Obispo County and online at eatdrinkexplore.com. Also, check out our new free smartphone and tablet app. Simply search 3 words, Eat, Drink, Explore, either in Google Play on your Android device or in the App Store on your iPhone or iPad. This free app gives you access to contests, past radio segments, our Facebook and Twitter feeds, and you can watch live video of the radio broadcast while listening to it here on The Crush. Eat, Drink, Explore Media, your source for the lifestyle you love.
What do your status updates say? You're learning a new language? Going all organic? Instead of typing your feelings, what if you could put them into action? By creating a network to help keep kids off the streets, in a country like Armenia, or in Honduras, bringing IT into the classroom, or on a farm in Tanzania, helping stem the world's food crisis by creating a sustainable agricultural program. What if every ounce of your being helped update the status of a person, and in turn they did the same for you? Would this be enough social interaction? Or is this only the beginning of something larger? Life is calling. How far will you go? Peace Corps. Get interactive at peacecorps.gov/game.
Delicious, nutritious, and fabulously fun.
Is this real life?
Best of all, your comments.
That was a real money saver. Thanks, Randall.
So did it work out for you?
Your hotel tip was spot on.
You're listening to the Eat, Drink, Explore Radio Network. But don't just sit there. It's an interactive program, honey.
Are you sure this is legal? I don't know. It's fun though, isn't it?
Pick your pleasure. Tweet, chat, post, email, even call us on the telly. Whatever works for you. Our topics today, food, drinks, travel, and a whole lot more fun. So let's pop the cork on this thing and get the party started. Give it up now for our fantastic host, the wonderful and talented Mr. Randall White.
I think that's the champagne talking.
And a very good morning, everyone. Great to have you with us here on this overcast, at least you can see behind me, overcast day here on the Central Coast, just right along the ocean. That'll burn off, and then we should be left with nice, sunny blue skies, very warm inland, low 90s in the Paso Robles wine region and the San Ynez Valley, where we just spoke with Gabe Saglia with Travel Zoo with some great travel bargains. A lot of great stuff coming up for us today here as well. We are in the heart of the action, bringing you as much current information as possible so you can enjoy your life in a healthy, fun, and sustainable manner. Straight ahead, we'll talk healthy. In fact, we're headed to the Mayo Clinic, which just really rings health in your head, doesn't it, Patty Pyburn, joining me here on my right-hand side.
Indeed, indeed. And when you said that about the fog, I looked outside. It's starting to peel back.
Oh, you're right. I do see some blue out there.
I see the hillsides.
Well, fantastic. All right, so we're speaking with a dietitian at the Mayo Clinic who has 10 of the healthiest possible foods you can eat. And
we need to hear that.
I think you're going to like these 10 foods, as a matter of fact. I love when a list like that is full of things I enjoy.
It has your favorites. You're like, I'm on the right track.
Exactly. Then, speaking of healthy foods, is it next weekend? Is the Oyster Festival. It's either next weekend or the one after that.
I don't care if they're healthy or not.
They're good. They're
I'm
good,
gonna eat them anyways.
Yes, Central Coast Oyster Festival. We are bringing in a man who farms, was it farming oysters? Is that what you would call it? Mm-hmm. Farms oysters in Morro Bay. And he's been so successful with it. They've been picked up by Whole Foods, and he's been written about quite a bit.
They're awesome. I interviewed him a while back. You know what? He turned it into a family business. You'll have to ask him about that.
I will. I'm glad that you're here to tell me that. And then also today, if you're kind of scratching your head, what should we do today? It's National Trails Day, and there are so many events throughout the entire United States. Either get out and enjoy a trail or help maintain that trail. I'm sure there are groups near you that could use one more pair or a couple of pairs of hands to help build a trail or maintain it. And so we will be speaking with the president of the American Hiking Society. They're the ones that came up with National Trails Day, and talk a little bit about that and how this event has evolved and that sort of thing. But right now, Patty, it's time for our top 10 segment. It's that time of the week when we
top 10 trails?
Top 10 trails. How did you know? Yes. And this is a list that's put together by trails.com. And what they do is 10 million votes from users over the past year, regarding their favorite trails and such. And I always like to go in reverse order, so we'll start at number 10. So I have to actually scroll backwards here. And this is again...
You can do it. You can do it, Randall.
I can. This is again from trails.com. Coming in at number 10 is the Appalachian Trail from Springer Mountain to Hightower Gap. And I'm not familiar enough with the Appalachian Trail to know that. But at number 9, right behind it, is the same trail from Sunfish Pond to Mount Mohican. Those sound very Appalachian Trail-y.
Yes, they do.
Those locations, do they not? Okay, number 8 is Deep Creek, and this is in Hesperia, California, Hot Springs. So that's Southern California, right? I should know that. And
I should too. That sounds right.
I think Hesperia. It's in the Inland Empire area, if I'm not wrong.
Keep talking. I'm Googling.
It says a cluster of natural hot springs in an isolated canyon in the high desert. So, well, that would be fun with the hot springs. I can see why that would be a popular trail. So, Deep Creek, number 8. Number 7 is Furnace Mountain, and this is in Virginia. I thought for sure it was going to be near Death Valley, but no. If you like mountaintop views and camping along streams, this loop is for you. And it's 20.6 miles, and this is in Grothes, Virginia. So Furnace Mountain.
Okay, to backtrack, Hesperia near Victorville.
Okay, right. So
go.
It's just past the Inland Empire, over on the other side, in the desert region. All right, number 6 is Bear Mountain Loop. This is in Highland Falls, New York. I thought there'd be more California locations on this list, but
we're just biased that way.
Very much so. I have a huge California bias. Number 5, right, here's the top 5. And this will include more California, I believe. Conundrum Hot Springs. And this is in Aspen.
I love that name, Conundrum Hot Springs.
You can bring a bottle of wine, head out to the hot springs, and find yourself in a bit of a conundrum. It is Aspen, Colorado. So many beautiful things to do there, and just to add this trail to the list. Number 4 this is a bucket list thing for me, Mount Whitney.
Oh.
The tallest peak in the 48 states is right here, not in Colorado, but in California. And the Mount Whitney Trail takes you to the top of the highest peak in the contiguous United States, is how they say it, and to unparalleled views. High Sequoia and Kings Canyon National Parks, which
have the worst air for national parks, similar to the air readings they get in Los Angeles.
Well, I don't doubt it. It's right outside the lower Central Valley there, and the Central Valley, it pools that bad air. It
has a lot to do with the geography, and it's coming from the San Joaquin Valley. You're so right.
Exactly. So at any rate, Mount Whitney Trail at number 4. Number 3 is another stretch of the Appalachian Trail. This is known as the Pinnacle. I need to do this Appalachian Trail.
We need to check it out.
Number 2 is Glacier Gorge. I've been on this trail with my brother, as a matter of fact, and his wife. And this is at Estes Park, Colorado, and it is part of Rocky Mountain National Park, which is beautiful. At least one of the settings, because they use several different hotels for the Overlook Hotel in Stephen King's The Shining movie with Jack Nicholson. At least part of it filmed there in Estes Park, Colorado. So Love The Shining. That's just such a great movie. And then number one, this is the number one trail in the nation here on National Trails Day, is called, and I've not heard of it, the Breakneck Ridge Trail. Let's hope that doesn't happen to you while you're hiking it, but it is in the Hudson Highlands State Park of New York and begins in Beacon, New York. It's a 9.6 mile long trail that makes a rugged ascent from river level to roll along a knobby ridge, gathering vistas and reaching a lookout.
Let's go.
I think that's the big bonus when you hike a trail.
You have a view.
You want a payoff at the end. And we've got a lot of those here on the Central Coast.
We do. I was going to say, so the trail I walk off Old Oak Park, that didn't make the list.
No.
And it has a great view. You can see the ocean from there.
If you're watching via Ustream right now, you can see our lovely Patty Pyburn. And occasionally you'll see, and somebody is...
We're getting a text message here.
Yes. There is a book called A Walk in the Woods, and it's based on the Appalachian Trail. That's from our friend David. And I'm going to have to check that book out.
Yeah.
Because apparently...
There's some good trails there.
3 out of the 10 were the
a
Appalachian
good showing
Trail.
In the top 10.
I think I have a new destinations segment in mind for an upcoming edition of the show. Occasionally, you'll see the back of the head of Anthony here, who's running the soundboard. And Anthony,
say hello, Anthony.
Almost every single good morning, everyone. He says almost every single day, Anthony hikes the what we call the Madonna Mountain Trail, but it is Cerro San Luis, which is a fantastic, very steady trail up
good
to the
workout.
top. View of San Luis Obispo. You've done it with your family many times, Patty. And then, of course, Bishop Peak is a wonderful one as well. All right, we're talking health food coming up. The 10 healthiest foods that you can have in your diet, according to the Mayo Clinic. That's where we're headed in this next segment. We'll be speaking with a dietitian there. You'll want to hear that. And then later in the show, we will be talking oysters. You're listening to Eat, Drink, Explore Radio. Back in just a moment. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back shortly. Did you know our weekly Saturday morning radio show also has a video simulcast on Ustream? You can watch it live or view pre-recorded versions while on the go by simply downloading our free Eat, Drink, Explore app for your smartphone or tablet device. To find it, just head to Google Play or the Apple App Store and search Eat, Drink, Explore. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break. We will be back shortly. Get the latest audio, video, and breaking news from Eat, Drink, Explore Media by following us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We're easy to find. The URL extension for all of those sites is simply Eat, Drink, Explore. Thank you for your patience. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back on the air shortly. Curious about information you've heard on today's show? Just head to eatdrinkexplore.com and head to the weekly program summary section under the radio tab. We always list the websites and any other important facts associated with each of our guests we have on the program. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back on the air shortly. Thank you for being a regular listener to the Eat, Drink, Explore radio program. If you have any feedback for us, we'd love to hear it. Simply send a note to radio@eatdrinkexplore.com. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break. We will be back shortly. Get the latest audio, video, and breaking news from Eat, Drink, Explore Media by following us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We're easy to find. The URL extension for all of those sites is simply Eat, Drink, Explore. Thank you for your patience. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break, and we'll be back on the air shortly. Curious about information you've heard on today's show? Just head to eatdrinkexplore.com and head to the weekly program summary section under the radio tab. We always list the websites and any other important facts associated with each of our guests we have on the program. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back shortly. Did you know our weekly Saturday morning radio show also has a video simulcast on Ustream? You can watch it live or view pre-recorded versions while on the go by simply downloading our free Eat, Drink, Explore app for your smartphone or tablet device. To find it, just head to Google Play or the Apple App Store and search Eat, Drink, Explore. Welcome back to the program, everyone. You're listening to Eat, Drink, Explore Radio. And this hour of the show is brought to you by Kelly's at the Grill at Hunter's Ranch Golf Course. And it's really one of the best kept secrets on the Central Coast. Kelly's at the Grill at Hunter Ranch Golf Course, open 7 days a week for breakfast and lunch, happy hour daily from 3 to 6, and dinner on Thursday, Friday, Saturday night. I had dinner there last night. It was delicious. If you caught the first hour of the show, I talked a bit about that. If not, you can watch it later on our website. Okay, located on Highway 46 East past Airport Road in Paso Robles. All right, everyone, I found a list of foods, top 10, I don't know if you want to call it a top 10, 10 of the healthiest foods you can possibly eat. And you see these lists from time to time, but when they're put out by the Mayo Clinic, you take a second look, because they know what they're doing there at the Mayo Clinic for sure. And joining us right now is Catherine Zaratsky. She's a clinical and wellness dietitian at the Mayo Clinic, and unfortunately, she dropped on us right now, but we'll get her back on the line in just a moment. So what she's going to do is go down this list of 10 foods that the Mayo Clinic has put together for better heart health, better overall health, and we'll get the latest from her on that. Then later in the show, we'll be talking oysters, and they have their own health benefits, but we've got Catherine Zaratsky back on the line again. Welcome to Eat, Drink, Explore Radio, Catherine.
Oh, well, thanks for having me, Randall. Nice to be with you.
I appreciate you doing this on a Saturday morning. And I saw this I keep saying top 10. It just rolls off the tongue to say it that way. You put together 10 great healthy foods, right?
We did. Now, that's a difficult task because there's so many great foods out there.
Oh, for sure. Now, one of the foods, the very first one listed, and we do have a link to this on the Eat, Drink, Explore website. If you go to it right now under our program summaries, you can find this list and follow along if you like. But the first one listed is almonds. Most of those grown here in California.
Yes, that is a California food. Yes, almonds are very nutritious, and nuts in general. I think we can single out almonds, but in reality, nuts in general are a great source of nutrition.
What is it about almonds and nuts? What do they contain? Is it the oils that help so much? A lot of protein?
Certainly, the fat is one of the health benefits of nuts in general. Is when we think of the fat that's in nuts, it's a monounsaturated fat for the most part. Not to say that there isn't other kinds of fat that like polyunsaturated fat that's very healthy as well. But generally speaking, they're low in the saturated fat, which is detrimental to our health, particularly our heart health.
Okay, well, number 2 on the list is apples, and I know apples also make a list of the what's known as the dirty dozen, meaning it's really preferable to buy apples in an organic form if you can. Apples have a wide variety as well. Does it matter which type of apple or just apples in general?
Apples apples in general, and that's the beauty of apples. There's so many different varieties. And when you eat your apple, like you said, if you can buy it organic or really wash it well to get some of those pesticides off of it, but eat that skin, because that skin has 5 times more antioxidants than the inside. But the whole apple's healthy, so eat it all.
I didn't realize that, and I am a fan of keeping the skin on most of those things. So keep the skin on your apples. Wash them thoroughly if you did not buy organically. Number 3 on the list is one of my favorites. I have at least, I would say, a half a cup every single day, and that is blueberries.
Oh, you and me both, Randall. I had some for breakfast today, too. Blueberries, not only do they taste great, but they're loaded with phytonutrients. And so there's lots of research around what good things blueberries can do for us. And I think it'll remain to be seen exactly, but, they look at it as preventing many chronic diseases. What does it do for our heart? What does it do for our digestive health? And maybe what does it even do for our brain?
It's like one of those superfoods. We had a berry guy from the local farmers market here on the show not long ago, and he was saying that blackberries have an exaggerated amount of those same phytonutrients as well. So if you don't see blueberries in the store, you could always grab some
buy
blackberries.
What's in season, because all berries are good.
So far, so good. Everything on the list I've enjoyed, and that includes this next one, which is maybe my favorite vegetable, broccoli.
Broccoli, yes. Broccoli belongs to the cruciferous vegetable family, and those cruciferous vegetables are loaded with healthy nutrients for our heart. They're believed to prevent some cancers, loaded with nutrients. So overall, looking for a great vegetable, go for broccoli, go for that cruciferous vegetable family.
It's so easy to mix it into different recipes as well. You want to add a little green to your list, just throw in some broccoli.
Green is always good.
For sure. Beans, and specifically red beans on the list. How do red beans differ from some of the others?
Well, and that's where we come back to, just like nuts. Beans in general are so good for us. But when you get into red beans, or say the darker beans, just like some of the darker fruits and vegetables, we start looking at, do those colors represent some of those phytonutrients? And they likely do. So have a colorful diet and choose different colors along the way. So red beans being one of those foods that gives us specifically maybe some benefits.
We're speaking with Catherine Zaratsky. She's a clinical and wellness dietitian at the Mayo Clinic, and they are out with a list of 10 very healthy foods that you can eat. So we're running down the list with her. And Catherine, on that last point you were making, I took several nutrition courses here at Cal Poly in San Luis Obispo back in the late 80s. Even then, the teachers were saying, make sure you have a colorful plate that you're, and we're not talking about like jujubes and stuff like that on your plate, but colorful with fresh fruits and vegetables and meats or whatever, so that your plate really pops with a lot of different colors.
Right. If you're eating a lot of different colors, you're eating enough variety. That's really the key, because you're going to hit all of those nutritional bases that are going to keep you healthy and keep you healthy as you age, so you can go into your later years feeling really vibrant and strong and living life to the fullest.
One of those colors is pink, as in salmon.
Right. Salmon. Salmon is a great source of the omega-3 fatty acids, as well as protein and zinc. And so all of those things, again, keeping all our cells in our body nice and healthy and working kind of smoothly, so to speak.
We were talking about how you can throw broccoli into so many dishes. You can throw spinach into just about anything, and we go through a large bag of fresh spinach every single week at our house, because you can saute it, you can use it in a salad, so many different ways to make it. What is it about spinach?
Spinach, like most leafy greens, spinach is very high in vitamin A. And vitamin A, as a vitamin, is really an antioxidant. So when we're thinking about keeping, again, ourselves healthy and aging well, vitamin A is very important for that.
last night, speaking of the next one here is very high in vitamin A. Last night I had some sweet potato fries at dinner. That seems to be a trend. You're starting to see that at a lot of restaurants, and I guess that's along the, if you're going to have French fries, why not go the sweet potato route, right?
Why not get a few extra nutrients, exactly, because they're loaded with vitamin A. They also have some vitamin C as well as some other B vitamins and fiber. One nutrient we haven't talked about that we do get from the sweet potatoes is potassium. And potassium is one nutrient that Americans in general don't get enough of. Eating more fruits and vegetables in general will help Americans get more potassium in their diets.
When I think of sweet potatoes, I think of extra sugar, but in this case, the extra nutrients balance out that extra sugar.
Right, and actually, when we sweet potatoes are a little starchier, have a little more natural sugar in them. However, in terms of nutritional bang for your buck, it's very high, and so it's a very good carbohydrate to have in your diet.
All right, Catherine, the final two, vegetable juice and wheat germ. We can't go over those because we're running out of time here, but you can find the complete list linked at eatdrinkexplore.com right there under the program summaries. Catherine Zeratsky, clinical and wellness dietitian at the Mayo Clinic. Again, thank you for spending a portion of your Saturday morning here on Eat, Drink, Explore Radio.
Thanks, Randall.
All right, stick around, everyone. We are talking oysters. They didn't make the top 10 here, but they're certainly a healthy food for sure, and there's a big festival that'll be going on soon. We'll talk with someone who farms oysters here on the Central Coast coming up next. You're listening to Eat, Drink, Explore Radio. I'm your host, Randall White, and we're back in just a moment. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break, and we'll be back shortly. Did you know our weekly Saturday morning radio show also has a video simulcast on Ustream? You can watch it live or view pre-recorded versions while on the go by simply downloading our free Eat, Drink, Explore app for your smartphone or tablet device. To find it, just head to Google Play or the Apple App Store and search Eat, Drink, Explore. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break. We will be back shortly. Get the latest audio, video, and breaking news from Eat, Drink, Explore Media by following us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We're easy to find. The URL extension for all of those sites is simply Eat, Drink, Explore. Thank you for your patience. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break, and we'll be back on the air shortly. Curious about information you've heard on today's show? Just head to eatdrinkexplore.com and head to the weekly program summary section under the radio tab. We always list the websites and any other important facts associated with each of our guests we have on the program. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back on the air shortly. Thank you for being a regular listener to the Eat, Drink, Explore radio program. If you have any feedback for us, we'd love to hear it. Simply send a note to radio@eatdrinkexplore.com. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break. We will be back shortly. Get the latest audio, video, and breaking news from Eat, Drink, Explore Media by following us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We're easy to find. The URL extension for all of those sites is simply Eat, Drink, Explore. Thank you for your patience. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break, and we'll be back on the air shortly. Curious about information you've heard on today's show? just head to eatdrinkexplore.com and head to the weekly program summary section under the radio tab. We always list the websites and any other important facts associated with each of our guests we have on the program. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back shortly. Did you know our weekly Saturday morning radio show also has a video simulcast on Ustream? You can watch it live or view pre-recorded versions while on the go by simply downloading our free Eat, Drink, Explore app for your smartphone or tablet device. To find it, just head to Google Play or the Apple App Store and search Eat, Drink, Explore.
Welcome back to the Eat, Drink, Explore radio network. Here now is your fabulous host, Mr. Randall White.
And a happy Saturday morning to you. As always, we're glad that you can join us, whether you're listening on Crush 92.5 in San Luis Obispo or online via our Ustream, actually watching what I guess would amount to a television show. Either way, we're very happy that you're here. You can listen via the iPad, iPhone or Android apps as well. Now, if you are listening via the app, do it via the video because the audio for the radio portion doesn't update until after the show. I have to do that separately until I figure out how it can go live. I'm just not a technician, but I've had to become one because of this position. All right, in 2 weeks here on the Central Coast, it'll be all about the fabulous oyster, which is a mollusk. Mollusk. Okay, and in the Morro Bay, I keep calling it the Morro Bay Oyster Festival, but it's the Central Coast Oyster Festival. So that got me scratching my head and wondering a little bit about oysters. I grew up with oysters out of Tamales Bay, but as I understand, here in the Morro Bay area, they are becoming quite a treat and quite a local delicacy. Neil Maloney joins us. He is with the Morro Bay Oyster Company, and welcome to the program, sir.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
Now, did your family originate up in the Tamales region?
Well, I grew up in the East Bay, and my first job right out of college was running this farm for Tamales Bay Oyster Company.
Aha.
I was a production farm for Tamales Bay Oyster Company for 4 years.
It was like an extension of the farm?
Yeah, they could sell more oysters than they could grow, so they were required to purchase another farm and start it from scratch, basically, and I was hired to do that for them.
When I was a child, we would take, the proverbial Sunday drive, and we would drive out into West Marin because I grew up in Novato, if you're familiar with Novato. And so we would drive out past the
country
cheese factory, that wonderful French cheese factory they have there. And then head out to Tamales, and my dad would get a big jar of them, and we would all turn our nose up, as children. What? Those, they look like, well, I don't want to say it here on the air, but
aphrodisiacs.
Yes. Right. And then as I grew up and I started trying them in different forms, there's a place there in Mill Valley called the Buckeye Roadhouse that has a dish they call Oysters Bingo, which has cream and pesto sauce and I think Parmesan cheese. And
sounds good.
Oh, they're delicious. And then they bake them, and then I worked for a place, the Marin Brewing Company, where we had every Wednesday barbecued oysters out on the patio. And so little by little, I was introduced to oysters in different forms. And then along the way, I thought, these things are fantastic. And so let's talk a little bit about how you farm them there in Morro Bay.
Yeah, so we own the actual ocean bottom. We have 134 acres of ocean bottom that, well, we don't own it. It's a long-term lease from the Fish and Game. And so on the mud flats, it's intertidal. So at low tide, you can walk on the mud if you got a pair of boots on. And at high tide, you're in chest-deep water. And so we grow them in these mesh bags that allow the water to enter the bags, but that keeps the predators out, but keeps all the oysters contained. And so they filter feed seawater. And so at low tide, they're sitting dry on the mud for about 20% of the day. And then for 80% of the day, they're floating in these bags and feeding, just eating plankton out of the seawater.
What are some of the natural predators to oysters?
Stingrays, actually, which people wouldn't guess, but we have very large stingrays and bat rays in the bay. And basically sea otters could also get in, but for the most part, stingrays can decimate the oysters pretty quickly.
Is that also a hazard of the job that you do when you get into the water or the stingrays?
Yeah, my employees sometimes get a little nervous about that. You know, Steve Irwin didn't make it easier for me to convince my guys to get in the water.
Right. Yeah, that tragedy was the result of a stingray.
Yeah, so, I mean, they're out there. We just kind of shuffle our feet because you don't want to step on them. But for them, it's not as dangerous as it sounds, really. They stay away from you. They're pretty skittish.
What's the water temperature there in Morro Bay?
Low 50s usually.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it varies, but we're always in wetsuits. So we're in and out of the water with wetsuits and then wind gear to keep all the wind from cutting through your wetsuit.
About the same temperature as the ambient air.
Sometimes it's warmer.
Sometimes it's warmer.
Early in the morning, it's like get in for a bath.
Now, I'm not sure. I just need to ask Ricardo quickly. Are we on the video, Ricardo?
No.
Okay, we have some video to show of your operation, and this done by Whole Foods Market?
So Whole Foods came out, and the day they came out was probably the coldest day of the year. It was freezing. And it was beautiful sunrise that we got to film. And so Whole Foods, we're in 44 stores in the southern region from Santa Barbara to San Diego, Arizona, and southern Nevada.
It's beautifully shot.
Yeah, they did a great
job.
If
you're not watching us on Ustream right now, all you need to do is go to YouTube and search Morro Bay Oyster Company, Whole Foods.
Love local. Love local. Oysters. Yeah.
And you will see this video that we're talking about. I think they used one of those XLR cameras that do the focus, short field of focus, and it's just so beautiful the way they did it. Yeah,
I was surprised, and they used a GoPro camera for a couple of the water shots. Not to plug GoPro, I don't have any stock in them, but it was great. It was well done.
Now, on the line, so your oysters were inspiration for the Central Coast Oyster Festival that's coming up in 2 weeks, correct?
It was kind of crazy. I was speaking with my girlfriend about having an oyster festival, and literally the next morning, Jacqueline Delaney called me and said, "Hey, I work with Options Family Services. We really want to put on an oyster festival. What do you think?" And I just smiled and said, "Perfect timing."
Yes.
It
couldn't have been one day later,
yeah,
right?
Literally the next day.
Well, we've got Jacqueline on the line right now. She is with Options here on the Central Coast. Welcome to the show, Jacqueline.
Hi, thanks, Randall.
So you must be excited about this festival. Is this the inaugural festival?
Yes, this is the first year. We're super excited.
And it benefits Options. Can you speak just briefly about what Options services are?
Of course. Options Family Services has been around since 1984, and we serve people with developmental disabilities and traumatic brain injuries.
Oh, okay. And what sort of services are those?
Well, we have vocational training, supported living services, job development, everything. The mission statement of Options is full inclusion. So the idea is we want to fully include the persons that we serve into the community in every way that's possible.
And so Neil was just explaining how you approached him. What made you think to approach him about an oyster festival?
Well, I was brought on with Options to come up with some more fundraiser ideas. You know, with the budget cuts that we continue to face every year, we're looking at ways to raise money and supplement those budget cuts. And I started doing some research on what I could do that wasn't competitive. There's so many wine and food festivals here, but what's something that's different and unique to the Central Coast? And here we have this beautiful oyster farm out there, and nobody's doing an oyster festival. So it seemed like a perfect fit.
Yeah, so why not? And it's done there at the golf course that overlooks where the oysters are raised.
Yeah.
Yes,
right by the farm. Yeah. And it's never been used as a venue.
No, and it's going to be beautiful. Yeah. I've been out there many, many times over the past year. We've been planning on this now, Neil and I, for about 10 months. And every day that I'm out there, it's absolutely beautiful. It doesn't matter what the weather is. It's just a really gorgeous setting.
It's a gorgeous shot, and if I have my Morro Bay map in my head correct, the state park is there as well.
Yeah, and we're about 1,500 feet south of that.
Okay.
Our farm. You can look south and just see our barges floating out there in the bay.
How can you, when you're looking out into the water, how can you tell that the oyster farm is there? Are there little poles sticking up or anything?
No, we try and have a low profile because there are neighbors to us in the south. Los Osos can overlook the bay. So we have barges. These you couldn't tell from the road. They're barges. They just look like these big black structures. But we have barges out there, and then our bags float just under the surface, and so you can just see the tops of little floats. And so as you get close in a boat, it's apparent, but from land, it's hard to see.
Now, with fishing, I know they go out early in the morning, you know, and that sort of thing. Does it matter when you go out and collect the oysters?
So our farm is intertidal. So if there's jobs, some jobs have to happen when there's no water. Some have to happen when there is water. So that kind of dictates what we do. But we have this nice channel that the tsunami created right through our farm that a year ago. And we're able to basically, we have floating culture, so we can stage floating bags in that channel that typically you would have to go out at low tide, you can do it the day before and set up work for the next day. So my guys work a little bit more comfortable now. They have almost a 9 to 5. It can vary from 6 to 9. They start in the morning.
So Neil, there was an actual benefit from the tsunami.
Yes.
Interesting, because nature does have that sort of yin and yang with it. You know, certainly there was a negative. You know, but that's the first time I've heard of something positive coming from it. And
we try and keep it positive.
Happy to, we do here at Eat, Drink, Explore Radio for sure. Jacqueline, so oysters will clearly be featured. I'm just going to take a guess. Will there be Central Coast wines there?
Yes, about 10 wineries are participating, and they're all local wineries. Center of Effort, Jackhammer, Hearst Ranch Wines, Palmer Junction, to name some of them.
Right.
And then, of course, we have an absinthe that's going to be served in our aphrodisiac bar.
Absinthe?
Absinthe, yeah. It's Mangling absinthe. It's going to be really interesting to have that there, but it's kind of fits the whole aphrodisiac lounge feeling that we're going to have. And then we've got Taproot Brewery as a part of it. They're making a special oyster brew just for our event.
Really?
Which is there, yeah.
Will they be using oysters in the process?
They'll be eating them while they make the beer.
I don't know what the special recipe is going to be, but it's going to be centered towards tasting with oysters.
Right. Well, Jacqueline, I wish you the best of luck with this first year, and we have a link to the festival on our website at eatdrinkexplore.com under the program summaries, and hopefully we can send some traffic your way and make this inaugural event a huge success.
Great. Thanks so much.
And Neil, so they're going to have an aphrodisiac lounge, which I find pretty funny.
It's very serious.
Yeah, I was going to say your experience with oysters, is that a wives' tale or is that true?
No, I think it's all like your perception. So if you believe it's an aphrodisiac, it'll work accordingly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we're setting up an aphrodisiac lounge with our oysters, a raw bar, and ceviche, and then we're going to have cheese and chocolates, and the whole event's going to be done a little sexy.
And this is Father's Day weekend. I'll be back in Chicago and Madison, Wisconsin. My mouth's watering thinking of all the stuff you're going to have there, but I'm not going to have a chance.
Yeah, and if you don't like oysters, we have about 17 restaurants participating. 10 of those recipes will be oysters, and the other ones will be non-oyster related. So even if you don't like oysters, if you want to come out and have a great meal, enjoy the event, you can still participate.
We have about 30 seconds left, Neil. Okay. What is a great gateway way of preparing oysters?
Barbecue them.
Barbecue.
Yeah. Throw garlic butter with a little beer and hot sauce on the stove. Melt that down, and then once you barbecue the oysters, and when they pop open, you don't even have to shuck them. Just spoon that in, a little Parmesan cheese, and they're good to go.
Oh, it sounds fantastic. People visiting Morro Bay, do you offer tours or anything like that?
Yeah. Just have them call me.
Have them call you, and we have all the information for Morro Bay Oyster Company online, like I mentioned before. Neil Maloney with the Morro Bay Oyster Company.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yes. Right, and we are back in just a moment. Final segment of the show. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back shortly. Did you know our weekly Saturday morning radio show also has a video simulcast on Ustream? You can watch it live or view pre-recorded versions while on the go by simply downloading our free Eat, Drink, Explore app for your smartphone or tablet device. To find it, just head to Google Play or the Apple App Store and search Eat, Drink, Explore. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break. We will be back shortly. Get the latest audio, video, and breaking news from Eat, Drink, Explore Media by following us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We're easy to find. The URL extension for all of those sites is simply Eat, Drink, Explore. Thank you for your patience. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back on the air shortly. Curious about information you've heard on today's show? Just head to eatdrinkexplore.com and head to the weekly program summary section under the radio tab. We always list the websites and any other important facts associated with each of our guests we have on the program. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back on the air shortly. Thank you for being a regular listener to the Eat, Drink, Explore radio program. If you have any feedback for us, we'd love to hear it. Simply send a note to radio@eatdrinkexplore.com. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break. We will be back shortly. Get the latest audio, video, and breaking news from Eat, Drink, Explore Media by following us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We're easy to find. The URL extension for all of those sites is simply Eat, Drink, Explore. Thank you for your patience. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back on the air shortly. Curious about information you've heard on today's show? Just head to eatdrinkexplore.com and head to the weekly program summary section under the radio tab. We always list the websites and any other important facts associated with each of our guests we have on the program. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back shortly. Did you know our weekly Saturday morning radio show also has a video simulcast on Ustream? You can watch it live or view pre-recorded versions while on the go by simply downloading our free Eat, Drink, Explore app for your smartphone or tablet device. To find it, just head to Google Play or the Apple App Store and search Eat, Drink, Explore. Welcome back, everyone, to the final segment here on Eat, Drink, Explore Radio. Fantastic to have you sharing your Saturday morning with us, whether you're listening on Crush 92.5 in your car or online or via our Ustream, which is in essence a television show. So if you are, I'll just give you a little wave and let you know that we certainly appreciate that, and hopefully we can gain more viewers over the weeks. Hey, today is a very special day. Not only do we have beautiful weather here in California and hopefully through most portions of the nation, but it is National Trails Day, and we take advantage of trails all the time. And I'm guilty of this. I often don't consider much how the trail was made, how it's maintained. I just am thinking about the beauty that I'm enjoying and being outdoors and, letting your mind go. One of the reasons why we hike. But yeah, those trails have to be maintained and they have to be made. And we know that, with tax cutbacks and things like that, we don't always have the ability to do that. Well, National Trails Day is one day a year that process gets highlighted, and hopefully there's still time that you can find an event near you, get out and lend a helping hand. Dr. Gregory Miller joins us right now. He's the president of the American Hiking Association. He's actually on a hike right now. Dr. Miller, great to have you with us.
Hi, Randall. I'm actually in a pretty soggy situation right now here in Connecticut. Unfortunately, we've got a fair amount of rain now, but sounds like in St. Louis, it's very nice weather.
It is. It's beautiful. And one of our first guests, as a matter of fact, was a cookbook author out of Vermont. And she said it was pouring down rain. And I thought of you at that moment. I thought, oh, there's all those hikes that are scheduled back there. And one of the reasons why there needs to be trail maintenance is because of weather like this, right?
Absolutely. Well, one thing as hikers we always like to say, and just for your listeners, is there's actually more than 41 million Americans who hike and backpack. It's one of the most popular activities. There's no bad weather for hiking. It's just bad gear if you're not prepared. But I just always like to say that. And
yeah, that's a good point. And I have been hiking in what some people would consider inclement weather when it's pouring down rain, but that adds a whole nother atmosphere and smells and all the different things that come with a heavy downpour. Can actually highlight a trail and have you see it in a way you hadn't seen it before.
Well, absolutely, and certainly in your listenership, which I know very well. I was born and raised in southern Central California, and know the northern Santa Barbara and San Luis counties quite well, and there's some just terrific hiking opportunities there.
Yeah, we're surrounded by the Los Padres National Forest, which is a very long, skinny national forest that goes from, I want to say, Monterey, maybe even Santa Cruz County, all the way down and just touches Los Angeles County, I believe, and we have wonderful portions of it right along here. Now, how long has National Trails Day been around?
Well, I wanted to wish you and everybody a happy 20th National Trails Day. National Trails Day was created by American Hiking Society in 1993. The intent was to really rally the nation, and what we wanted to do is in 93 we established as a major goal to create a network of trails and what we call recreation avenues that would be so extensive that anyone anywhere in the U.S. could reach one in 15 minutes. And so we rallied the hiking and outdoor and parks community. And one of the things that we wanted to do, people were always doing things locally, but we wanted to create a national movement so that even the smallest, most isolated or modest community trail project or community trail could be highlighted as part of our national movement to promote trails in every community.
Right.
And that's one of the things we're so excited because we've had over 2,000 National Trails Day events last year in 2011, and we're looking to easily eclipse that this year.
So it's very easy for people listening right now to find an event that may be happening near them, and they're not all happening first thing in the morning, right?
That's correct. And while the last 20 years National Trails Day has been officially the first Saturday of June, and it will continue that way, the fact is any day is Trails Day, and so many local organizers will actually establish a National Trails Day event on other days. You can just go to our website, AmericanHiking.org, and click on California, and in fact we separate California southern and northern, so anywhere in your listenership would be in the Southern California realm, and you can find trail activities there.
And I did look locally to see which events are happening here. I saw one that's not too far from San Luis Obispo out at Lopez Lake. The Eco Slow is combining with, I think it's the Central Coast Mountain Bike Riders Association. I might have their acronym wrong, but it's not just about hiking. A lot of cyclists now use trails.
Well, Randall, that's a terrific point, and something I'd want to underscore is that when we created National Trails Day in 1993, it was not just for hiking. We wanted to really promote what we call human-powered recreation across the nation. Mm-hmm. So while every year between a third or more of the events are hiking and walking events, we see paddling, mountain biking, birding. There's a lot of children's programs, and about a quarter of all Trails Day events are trail maintenance programs, really what we call get out and give back. Last year we had 800 of the 2063 National Trails Day events were in fact trail projects that had almost 39,000 trail volunteers,
wow,
190,000 volunteer hours, which is worth about $4 million in labor to local parks. And certainly in California, you are suffering from a tremendous budget crisis, as we all know, and the state parks in California are genuinely under threat.
I worded it wrong off the top of the segment. I meant to say budget cuts that are affecting, the ability to maintain some of these trails. You're right. We are in a crisis situation here in California. So to get out and help, and trails come in a lot of different forms. Everything from multi-use paths where you see people, jogging with strollers, and it's really a paved stretch that gets you off-road from one place to the next, like the beautiful Bob Jones Trail here on the Central Coast, all the way up to those rugged trails that take you to the top of Mount Whitney and such.
Mm-hmm. That's absolutely right. And really, there are trails for everyone. Mm-hmm. One of the things that we really want to do is encourage everyone to find their local trail, determine what kind of activities you want to undertake, get your family, friends out, and just do it.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to start at your own scale, your own level, and just trust yourself to go out and have a good time and really connect with nature. Because one of the things that we find, and for people getting out on trails, and this is certainly important in California as every other state, is that most people who get out on trails, and certainly I think that includes you and probably a lot of your listeners, is that nature is more than just an amenity to people, but rather it's really a basic human need.
Mm-hmm.
And so what we find, and certainly what I like to promote, is that trails, in order to have a really good balance in your life of physical and mental health, we really do need what I will call the therapy of topography. Mm. Really, that trails provide us when we get out and hike or let's say bicycle, etc. That really just getting out on a treadmill or any other exercise doesn't necessarily provide us. It's that connection with nature, with the landscape, with the diversity. Whether it's rain like I have now or shining sun like you have, you will get that texture, that tapestry of nature, which is so important to us.
It is very therapeutic, and I've never been one to jog on a treadmill. I understand the need for them and the purpose for, gyms like that, but I've always been one to get out and enjoy nature because it does click something in my brain. We have been speaking with Dr. Gregory Miller. He's the president of the American Hiking Association on this National Trails Day. Thank you, Doctor. I appreciate it, and you stay dry, okay?
Okay, just remember it's American Hiking Society.
Society. I'm sorry about that. I wrote it.
And again, everyone can go to AmericanHiking.org. So
fantastic.
Terrific, and happy National Trails Day.
Yes, and we have that link available at eatdrinkexplore.com. Hey, this hour brought to you by Eberly Winery, where you'll always find complimentary wine tasting, located on Highway 46 East in Paso Robles. Easy to find them online as well. It is Eberly, that's Eberle winery.com. This has been Eat, Drink, Explore Radio. We'll catch you back here next week. Eat, Drink, Explore Media is your lifestyle information source. Our focus, food, wine, craft beer,